Thank you, Ken. On behalf of the Oestrike family, we are truly grateful for Dad's induction to the MAC Hall of Fame. Dad loved coaching at Eastern Michigan and being part of the MAC. As he enjoyed the competition and mutual respect he shared with the other coaches and players throughout his career. To be awarded this distinguished honor after a lifetime of coaching and teaching ball players on and off the field is an awesome reward for all of Dad's hard work and success, and makes me and the rest of the family very proud. So thank you for this wonderful, wonderful evening and special honor for our dad.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Oestrike family, the Eastern Michigan family, we would like to send our sincere thanks to the MAC Hall of Fame Committee, Ken Mather, Commissioner Dr. Steinbrecher, and for this great honor, okay, for Coach being inducted into the MAC Hall of Fame. I know when I was being recruited way back in 1973, after Eastern won the NAIA National Championship in '70, Coach Oestrike was so excited about taking his program to the Division I level and joining the MAC conference. So for him to be recognized, has he just truly cherished the Mid-American Conference. I'd also like to send out congrats to all the Hall of Fame inductees, as well as all the award winners tonight. Coach would truly be humbled to be in such company. To our Medal of Honor our Medal of Excellence student athletes that were recognized tonight, congratulations. Coach Oestrike not only had a great passion for coaching the game of baseball, but he also was an associate professor and he taught 3 classes. And he had a great passion for teaching. I'll tell you what, he did a great job. He was fun to take his classes, and he knows exactly how much time and effort for our student athletes that they have to put in, not only in the classroom, but also on the fields, on the courts, the diamonds, et cetera, et cetera. So I know Coach would want to say job well done, and it's just truly amazing the job that our student athletes do. Also, I would like to introduce Coach's family. Okay, we have a couple of the 5 children here. We have Elizabeth McClure along with her husband Mark and their family right here at the front table here, and grandchildren included. We have Matt Oestrike here to my left. Brother Jeff and Dan and daughter Nancy, okay, could not be here tonight, but I am pleased to say that nephew Mike Oestrike is here, and Mike's son Tommy Oestrike actually played for me, pitched for me, and you know, one thing about Mike was always at our games at Bowling Green while Tommy was playing, and it was just so great catching up with Coach Oestrike. You know, he'd just tell story after story about Uncle Ron. Also, I would like to pass on to the Oestrike family, your mother, Shirley. Just a great lady. She was an angel. She had a smile of an angel. And she'd come out to the games, and maybe things didn't go as well as what we hoped that day, but she'd always have that smile there. And, you know, it takes a special, special lady to be the wife of a coach. And she was that lady. Also, would like to thank the Eastern Michigan administration for all their hospitality, for inviting me for this great honor. I have a couple of former teammates that are in attendance also. Ken Bershansky, who was a pitcher on our 75 team, and also was my RA. So when I was going through my freshman year, Kenny was there and just kind of showing me the ropes. We also have Hall of Famer, MAC Hall of Famer, Bob Ochinko. Bob was one of our great pitchers, led us to the '76 World Series along with Bobby Welch, and both guys are MAC Hall of Famers. Bob Ochinko was a 5th round draft, or not, he was a 5th pick overall in the 1976 draft, and also was the National League Rookie Pitcher of the Year in '77. Jim Streeter, our SID, just a great job, and the way he promoted our program, and this was the old days, people, okay? This wasn't where you had the smartphones and you had the computers, et cetera, you know, this was all done by typing and trying to get the word out about the program. So, Jim, we thank you for all that you've done, and I know Coach would want to thank you also. All right, Greg Steiner, okay, the current SID at Eastern Michigan. Greg, thank you very much. First time I've ever attended this wonderful banquet. It's really a special, and Greg, I appreciate all your input. Also, Coach's best friend, Dr. Milo Dansizen, is here in attendance with his son Kevin. And actually, Doc Dansizen would always go with us on our spring trips. He was Coach's best friend, one of his right-hand people. Kevin was even our bat boy like Matt Oestrike was and everything. So it's great to see them. When it comes to the video, it brings back a lot of memories. But as you can see, Coach had quite a resume. And no doubt about it, Hall of Fame numbers. I mean, absolutely no doubt about that. These 75, 76 College World Series teams are arguably the two best teams that ever represented the Mid-American Conference as well as college baseball. I mean, we had 2 first-round draft picks on that team, as well as several other guys that went on to play professional baseball in the big leagues. That was mentioned during the video. But one thing about Coach, he was a very modest guy. I mean, you see the accolades that were up there on the video, but he would never take the success. He would never take credit for any successes or accomplishments. Okay? He always gave credit to the people that were around him, the people that he had surround him. Okay? It started with his family. His family was most important to him. Okay, his assistant coaches over the years, the players that came through the program, the administrators, and the friends and the volunteers. Absolutely amazing how many hats you have to wear as a college baseball coach. You know, coaching's probably about 5th on the list, but you know, you have to surround yourself with good people, and that's one thing that Coach always tried to do. He tried to surround himself with good people, and it was amazing the friends and the volunteers that would come out and help in any way, shape, or form. Coach was just a phenomenal fundraiser. I mean, he really was. He really could. Whether it was a raffle ticket sale, whether it was the kickoff dinner, which turned into the Dean Martin roast that you may see advertised late night at TV, where they bring in a guest and they go ahead and they roast him. And probably his most fun one and probably most successful one was when the group. 70s group in Santana came in to play at our football stadium. Well, Coach somehow, some way, got the beer concession sales for this concert. And I'll tell you what, you know, he had a big smile after that concert. He had a lot of volunteers working the concert. He didn't necessarily have to work it, but he had a lot of volunteers, and that made a lot of money. So and all dollars went back to the program. It meant a lot to us players. Coach also believed that championships were done by the group, okay, and again, not by individuals. He was an honest and upfront person. He challenged us to be the best possible team that we could be, but more importantly, he challenged us to be the best we could be in the game of life. And I know that's what us players that had the privilege to play for him, that's what we try to do each and every day, okay, to live up to those expectations that he set. He taught us to battle through the tough times. You know, sometimes you're going to get knocked down. He told us to, you know, pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and get back after it. And he says, you get through those tough times, it makes you enjoy the good times that much better. Okay, and I guess that's a great lesson in life. It'd be nice if every day was a rose garden, but unfortunately, sometimes you're going to go through speed bumps. You have to learn to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back after it. As players, next to our parents, Coach Oestrike was the best role model we could ever had. He had the knack for pushing the right buttons at the right time. He was no doubt a player's coach. We would have run through a brick wall for Coach Oestrike. A couple stories I'd like to share. And I've been in the game of baseball for a long time, been away from Eastern Michigan as a player for 40 years, but 1975, we're playing a game down at Ohio U, And one thing about baseball, you get the student sections, and they can get after you pretty good. Well, we were in the third base dugout down at OU, and the student section was behind us, behind our dugout, which was the third base dugout. And they were on us all game long, you know, and which is fine. I mean, because when people came to our field, we had the Arm of Honor fraternity, which was our athletic fraternity, which several players played on there. So I guess what goes around comes around. But anyways, they were on us pretty good. Bob Olchinko was out on the mound. As the game went on, the strike zone started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And Coach finally had enough, okay? He decided that he was going to go out and give the umpire a piece of his mind. He did. Okay, I guess the umpire heard enough, so he asked him to leave. So Coach went ahead. He hopped over the fence. It was just a 4-foot fence, but he hopped over the fence, and we're all watching him to see what he's going to do next. Well, he goes ahead. He works his way up to the student section right behind our dugout. The students are all, they're in total shock. They don't know what's going to go on, you know. And he sits down right in the middle of that student section. And all of a sudden, they started cheering him, okay? They had a cooler. They actually opened up the cooler and offered him a beer. And you know, after screaming at the umpire, and it was a warm day, I'm sure his throat was thirsty. Now we're all waiting to see, is Coach going to take the beer? Well, he didn't take the beer, but we ended up winning that game, winning the next game, and obviously that got us going towards the Mid-American Conference title. We won the regionals, and then our first trip to the College World Series. Coach was famous for just sayings. He had numerous sayings. One that kind of stuck with me over the years, that we'll play anyone at any place at any time. And we did that. In '75, we opened up the season against Pan American University down in Corpus Christi, Texas. And, you know, they were something like 25-3, you know, and they were like number 5 in the country. We ended up playing Florida State later that year, okay, in the College World Series. They were the number 1 team. In '76, we played Arizona State, number 1 team on our spring trip at the Riverside Tournament. Okay, we ended up playing against them also in the College World Series. They were still number 1 at that point in time. We also played Southern Cal on that spring trip. So Coach was not afraid to play anybody at any place at any time, okay? And the way he looked at it was, it got us prepared for our tough Mid-American Conference schedule. Because the Mid-American Conference baseball, you better bring your A game or you're going to have it handed to you. So he wanted to make sure that we were prepared. Well, the following year, '77, after our 2 World Series appearances, we are home against St. Francis University. And it happens to be Easter weekend. And the first 2 games went okay. We played pretty well. And then on Easter Sunday, well, St. Francis, they took care of us. I mean, it was no contest. They took care of us. So now it's after the game, and you know, we're kind of wondering what Coach is going to say to us as a group. And he kind of takes his hat off. He'd rub his fingers through his hair, and he said, you know, he goes, I tell you guys, play anyone at any place at any time. He goes, but I'm telling you right now, we'll never play another Catholic university on Easter Sunday because we had no chance. So. And we all laughed and went ahead and went on to, I guess, enjoy the rest of our Easter Sunday. From a personal note, can't thank Coach enough. I'm from a family of 7, 5 sisters, 2 brothers, 3-bedroom house, one bath. And excuse me, Coach felt strong enough that I should go to Eastern Michigan and play. I was on a partial scholarship, had a campus job, and it helped map out my life. He was instrumental. I was fortunate enough after my Eastern Michigan days to go on to play pro ball. When I came back in the off season, I still had a couple of semesters. I had a couple classes to take 1 fall semester, had to go back to spring training, and then I came back the following fall to do my student teaching. And Coach put me on his staff and let me work and allowed me to finish my degree. And when I finished up with pro ball, he was instrumental, and that's when he retired. He brought me back as an assistant coach under Roger Coryell. And then when the job opened up at Bowling Green State University in the fall of 1990, I once again called on Coach to make a phone call for me. He did. He did, and you know, I guess the rest is history. I've been there for 27 years, and I can't thank him enough. Excuse me, sorry. In closing, I'd like to thank the Oestrike family along with the Eastern Michigan family to say a few words about Coach. Coach and EMU have given me lifelong memories, okay, memories I will take to the grave with me, okay? I try to stress that with my players. We want them to want their years at Bowling Green to be the best 4 years, just like they were when I was at Eastern Michigan. I am who I am today because of Coach Oestrike. And so I just want to say it's a great honor. Again, congratulations to all the other Hall of Fame inductees, okay, to all the other award winners tonight. Again, I want to thank our commissioner. I want to thank Kenny, and thank you all, and appreciate it. Thank you.